Afternoon everybody, Rich here, back for another video for the Diecast F1 review. Here today is the Williams FW19 Renault from the 1997 Formula 1 World Championship. And here today we have two examples of this, the Villeneuve version and the Frentzen version. Although strictly speaking it is not the Frentzen version, it's called the German driver version, but I'll get to that later on. Onto the car itself, or the real car, it's the last of the breed, the last of the wide track slick tired cars. From 1998 onwards, all cars will be narrowed by 20%, making them look a bit weird at the time, but they look fine now. Also, the last car to have the Renault power until 2012. The last Williams as well to win the World Championship, both championships, the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship. But it wasn't made easy because, well, Villeneuve was full of mistakes and Frentzen was, to be fair, a bit useless throughout '97. Frentzen only had one win, but it took him a long time to get off the score sheet. It took him until round 3 to actually score any points. Or was it round 4? That was round 4, sorry. Round 4 at Imola, where he actually won the race, but never really got onto the pace until much later in the season, with a few second places, a few thirds, sealed third place in the championship, which was it moved up to second place, thanks to Schumacher being disqualified. Villeneuve, on the other hand, was either winning races or retiring from races. He retired from the first race. Something just fell over behind me, sorry. He's either retiring from races or winning races. He retired from round 1 after being clouded off at the first corner by Eddie Irvine, and then narrowly won the next race after running wide at the first start in Brazil and cutting the track pretty much like he did in Australia. But he won that race, won in Argentina, retired at Imola, retired at Monaco, won in Spain, retired in Canada, spun off on the last lap in France, finished 4th I think, win at Silverstone, I think a retirement in Germany, win in Belgium, a retirement I think in Belgium. Yeah, I'm just trying to think what else he won. He won in the European Grand Prix, and that was pretty much it for Williams. I didn't win any more races after that until 2001 at least, and that was Villeneuve's last win as well. He won the championship after a controversial collision in the final round with Schumacher, which Schumacher was completely to blame for and was disqualified from the championship for. Villeneuve just limped home in 3rd place, giving the win to McLaren that race, but 3rd place was enough to give him the title. But it wasn't an easy season for Williams. I think if they had kept hold of Damon Hill for another year, I think Williams probably would have wiped the floor with the season. I think Frentzen was a bit out of his depth going into the Williams paddock after a few troubled seasons at Sauber. Well, '96 was pretty troubled, the car was useless. But yeah, it's the last of the breed. Now, on to the models themselves. These are two variants of the model. The Villeneuve version, which is the one in front of you, is the I think it's the British Grand Prix livery, and the Frentzen version, or sorry, the German driver version, is the French Grand Prix livery. Now onto the reason why it's called the German driver. I just moved the Villeneuve one out of the way. Squeaky axles. Yes, the Frentzen version, or German driver version, is because Onyx sealed the rights to the Heinz Frentzen collection name for the '97 season. Onyx produced the Williams FW19 as well as the previous two cars as well. Onyx's version, which I don't have, I think is an alright version. I don't know much about it. I haven't seen the quality of it, or at least held it in my hands to know the quality of it, but it looks quite a solid car. It does come in quite a garish box, but it has got the Heinz Frentzen collection badge on it, so that's why this version is called the German driver, because Minichamps did not have the rights to the Frentzen name. Although if you look at the side, the Frentzen badge is on the side of the cockpit there, just a bare driver's helmet. So yeah, Onyx had the rights to the name, but Minichamps from 95 to 96 had or 95 and 96 had the Frentzen collection on the box of their cars, and also it returned for 1998 as well for the FW20. The Frentzen collection returned to Minichamps that year. The Onyx, I don't know what happened to Onyx after that. It sort of disappeared after 97. They didn't produce any more 1/18th scale models, and they never produced any more 1/43 scale models as well. So Onyx sort of just disappeared off the face of the earth. But there's not a huge loss though. Their cars weren't brilliant quality, although their Sauber for '97 was pretty good, and I think the Williams as well was a solid car. I just don't have a version of it to hand. I think my brother's got it, so I might have to borrow it for a day and do a review of it separately. Anyway, that's the reason behind all that. So the idea is, I think with this model, it's just to buy yourself a second hand or a clapped out model, saw the head off and then stick it on this one. It would just make the model look so much better. But the bare helmet does really detract from it. It also says on the box as well, it's not called Heinz Frentzen, it's called German driver. Comes in a generic box, a Minichamps box, you know, black with checkers all over it, so there's no point in reviewing the box because they're all the same. So that's the Frentzen version. Anyway, it's a much lighter livery as well. The white is much better than on the Villeneuve one. The Villeneuve one I've not had very long, and it's the white decals have started to fade a bit. So that's the reason why this one looks so much better. Although the rear wing decal, if I just look over there, it is peeling a bit, which is a bit of a shame. But apart from that, the model's fine. It's not dusty at all. It's been in its box. I've had the model since 2001, I think it was. I bought it at the Southampton Model Centre, which was in Junction Road, Tottenham, and is no longer there. I think it's a pound shop now, which is a shame, but never mind. Yeah, one of my first 1/18 scale models I actually bought this was, and it's an absolute stunner. My favourite Formula 1 car. Says a lot really, doesn't it? But yeah, it's a stunner. So I'll move that to one side and bring in the Villeneuve version with the squeaky axles. And it's the British Grand Prix edition, or the British Grand Prix livery. The Frentzen, or the German driver version, is I think it's the French Grand Prix livery with all the question marks on it. I really like the idea they used with this, the question marks with the R dot question mark, because to the previous years they just used either racing on the side or just a barcode, and I didn't really give much on the barcode. So I really like the idea they used the R in the question mark on the side. Makes it look a lot more. Not so I won't say professional, but it does, you know, just makes it look different. But yeah. Also, what I liked about this car as well is the decals on the nose as well, because you got the gone as the Elf, and now you have the Castrol with the Falcon logo there, and also Motorsport, sorry. And it's a bit chipped as well. You can sort of see it's a bit chipped on there, but never mind. But yeah, not a bad livery. Definitely looks different from the previous cars anyway. It's the same badges they used on the FW20 as well on the red livery. But I'll get to that another day. But yeah, this is the Villeneuve version. We've got the proper Villeneuve helmet there. If we just zoom in on that one. Very nicely coloured as well. It goes very well with the Williams livery. Also got the Villeneuve and Renault, which has chipped quite badly. Come on, focus, you bugger. There we go. The Renault logo has badly chipped. Never mind. Like I said, I've not had this model long, I've only had it about a week. The Villeneuve models, or the Villeneuve version, seems to be quite a rare version to come. I would say it's not hugely rare, it's just people tend to put them on eBay for ridiculous prices, so you don't seem to get them at a fair price as well. But I don't have the box, or I don't have the original box for this one as well, because the Villeneuve, Jacques Villeneuve had a Villeneuve collection as well for 96, 97, 98 as well, where the Minichamps box was painted blue, the same sort of blue that's at the top of his helmet, so that's sort of more purple, the same purple they used at the top of his helmet, so the boxes were painted in that colour, and it really does look quite nice with the Williams inside. Well, like I said, I don't have the original box, which is a shame, but you know, it looks quite good in the box that it's got. I think it's a Benetton box I've got, but you know, it's not an issue. As long as it's on display with all the other ones, you don't really notice. But decal wise, we've got the R, the dot, the question mark, and then you've got the proper racing team badge up there, which is basically a replacement for the Rosmans. Also got the T-cam at the top, although it's not a proper T-cam, or until 98 at least. They were just pod cameras, and it looks a bit like it wasn't put on very well, but not a huge issue. And the tripod's a bit stiff today, I don't know why. And also the rear wing decal is applied much better than what it is on the number 4 car. It's not peeling at all, it's on there much better. So that's the decals out of the way. Also the decal on the barge boards is different as well, because on this one it's snap-on, whereas on the Frentzen version, German driver, it's hype in red and hype in green or yellow. But that's the only differences really, apart from the faded decam as well. But we won't go on to that one. And also on the front wing as well, we've got the front wings are slightly different with the badges as well. Just tippy up there, you can see racing logos on the Villeneuve one and just a bar on the Frentzen version. So there are a few minor differences, and also on the airbox as well. The racing logo is not on the airbox of the Frentzen version, and also a barcode as well. I forgot to point that out as well. But anyway, get Frentzen out of the way. He's useless. And there we go. I'd say Frentzen's useless. He was useless throughout '97 and partly through '98, but Frentzen really did come into his own in '99 when he got the drive of the very drivable Jordan 199. I will do a review of that one later on as well. It's the Jordan from 1999, but the version I have is the Damon Hill version, and to say that Damon Hill was pretty useless in that car. But yeah, we'll just do a quick spin around this car, around the back here. I don't think the light's doing the model really justice as well. The sun's gone in, which is a shame. But what I also liked about this 97 livery as well is the stripes of the Rothmans band didn't have all, well, the stripes were there, but the white didn't cover the whole top of the side pods. It just had a separation with blue in between the stripes and the Renault badge. So it had a nice, well, I gave it a nice blue stripe in there as well, so it made it look a bit different as well. And we just lift the back end up here, have a look around the rear detail. Got the diffuser, rear suspension, quite nicely detailed there. And then we spin around again. And like I said, it was the last of the breed. It was the last championship winning car for the 2 metre wide cars. Ever since then, the cars have been 1 metre 80 in width. But although in talks for 2016, 2017, they are trying to return them back to that width. But we shall wait and see on that one. I think Formula 1 will probably be dead by the time they agree what to do with the amount of money and boring races at the moment, with Mercedes winning everything. But enough about that, we'll get onto that another day. But yeah, the last of the breed, the last championship winning car designed by Williams, although they did have a close run thing in 2003, but since then Williams have been pretty much on the back foot. It's only until recently, say 2014, 2015, Williams have been consistent again, although not winning races. They've just been basically podium fillers and sort of picking up the back end of the points, well, the mid-range of the points, basically behind Mercedes and Ferrari. But Williams are definitely on their way back. It just take a little time to get there, I think. But for Villeneuve, though, it really was the last for Villeneuve as well. He never regained, he never won any more races after '97. Anyway, his last win was as the European Grand Prix in '97, a race of high attrition, I believe, because I think he was third at the time when both McLarens blew up. They were leading 1-2, and they both blew up within a lap of each other. So that gave Villeneuve his last victory. And then they had a pretty mediocre '98 season with the FW20. 2 podiums, both of which were third places. Not much else after that. And then, of course, he went to BAR for '99, and his career pretty much took a nosedive straight away. No points, and pretty much destroyed his reputation. A couple of third places in 2001 with BAR was pretty much the seal on his coffin, basically. Formula 1 had changed, but Jacques couldn't change with it, so it's a shame, because he was a pretty cool guy around the paddock. But never mind. He pretty much retired from Formula 1 in the midpoint of 2006 when Robert Kubica took his place. And since then he's been racing like NASCAR, IndyCar, and pretty much any car apart from Formula 1. But he still pops about, but he's not in Formula 1, which is a shame. But never mind. But yeah, that's enough of the Villeneuve-Frentzen saga. When I say Frentzen saga, Frentzen carried on throughout '99, almost, well, he'd say nearly won the championship, but he'd come within 10 points of winning the championship. Well, I say 10, 13, 14 points from winning the championship, but just in that time, 14 points just got a long gap. But 2000 he took a nosedive performance-wise. The car was a lemon. Frentzen kind of made some silly mistakes, and then by mid-2001 he was outpacking, basically picking up any drive he could, i.e. Prost, Sauber, Arrows, and then he retired at the end of 2003. So yeah, after 97 it's pretty much downhill for both Williams drivers, apart from that 99 season for Frentzen. Anyway, that's that. A quick rabble about the car again. It's a beauty. I recommend picking it up. It's not a particularly rare car. It depends on which version you want. This is of course both Minichamps versions. If you want the Onyx version, then I would say get hold of that as well. If you want the Frentzen model, because the Minichamps version has only got the bare helmet and it's not called the Frentzen model. But yeah, if you want to pick up the Onyx version, I would say pick up that one as well. Either to have it on display or just saw the heads off to swap the heads around. It's up to you. The German driver version is not rare at all. You can pick them up for around £20–30 on eBay. The Villeneuve version, although slightly rarer, you can probably pick it up pretty cheaply as well. But they're not many. They don't get many for bids on eBay. Most of them are now by dealers, and they're quite a high price. So if you're lucky to get hold of one of these at a fair price, then you're pretty lucky. I only got this one cheap because, of course, it didn't have the original box. And also they did have a Onyx version as well. I think the only real difference between this and the Onyx version is the small winglet on the area of the back of the side pod, just in front of the rear wheels. There's a small winglet on the Onyx version. I'm not sure if that was on the real car, because I need to do a bit more research on that, but that's really the only visible difference between this and the Onyx version, apart from the obvious, I say obvious, but the tyres are slightly different as well. I think on the Onyx version the tyres are a bit more crispy, whereas these are sort of not really scrubbed, they're sort of fresh tyres, so they don't have the worn look on them. And I think I need to give this another clean, it's a bit manky. If we just wheel the not Heinz Frentzen version back in, I'm going to put these cars side by side. Oh, squeaky. And have one more look at these beauties. Like I said, it's just a shame that this is not the Frentzen version, or at least not called it officially. But never mind. But not much else you can say. But that's my review. That is all I have to say on the matter. And my next review, hopefully, will be the Lotus 79 by Minichamps, which is a very nice model as well. I should be reviewing that one soon, or as soon as I can. So yeah. Like I said, not much else to say on the matter. I'm kind of lost for words now. Anyway, this is Rich, signing off, logging off and disappearing, and I shall return with another review. So bye for now.